Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Nox, your everyday Bloodstrike coach, and if you want to get better in Bloodstrike, then this video is for you. Today I'll be introducing something really special, a brand new series that will take place every Friday. Now I know most players think becoming a pro in Bloodstrike is all about cracked aim, fast fingers and some random movements, but what if I tell you that the truth is this? The real difference between an average player and a pro is how they think, how they move, and how they make certain decisions under pressure. Starting today, I am launching a brand new series called How to Become a Pro in Bloodstrike, and in this series we are going to be studying real pro players. Every Friday I'll be breaking down high level Bloodstrike gameplay. Sometimes I'll be spectating real pro players and showing you exactly what they do. Other times I'll be using my own gameplay for the breakdown, still showing you why players land where they land, why they push or avoid fights, how they position, rotate, use abilities, manage money and survive certain situations that players do not survive. And by the end of each episode, you should walk away with at least one thing that you can use immediately in your own games. If you really want to improve, not just watch, then this series is for you. If you enjoyed this video, please do well to like, turn on post notifications for more videos, and of course, subscribe. Before we begin, shout out to my channel members. If you want to join the channel membership, use the link down in the description below. Big shout out to today's sponsor, Wingstore, the most trusted and affordable top-up platform for Bloodstrike. With Wingstore, you could top up gold instantly at the lowest prices and with 100% safety guaranteed. No more overpriced payments or waiting hours to receive your recharge. It is always fast, reliable and secure. They even support every payment method you can think of, from bank transfers all the way to crypto. So if you need a quick recharge before jumping back into a match, Wingstore is the way to go. Check the link in the description and pin comment and start recharging now. Alright guys, the first pro of this series is no other person than Alien YouTube. Now Alien is an absolutely amazing player and he actually played amazing in this match. But yeah, we are going to be spectating him to see exactly what he does in a solo match. We're going to start with a solo match so we can see how he engages on enemies in a one-on-one encounter, and that way we're just going to understand his gameplay better than when he plays with a squad, which will be assisting him. You can see over here he's landing straight for prison. This is a normal pro player aggressive approach, and as he lands, you guys notice what he's going to do here. He lands directly on the crate and he slides away from the crate. As he slides away from the crate, he has scanned that one enemy is over here on his right and one enemy is landing above him. Now look at what he does immediately. Like I said, he slid away from the crate and gave it enough space. Now that enemy obviously has seen that Alien has picked up the gun. Now look at the mistake that enemy made. There is literally an FN 2000 over here, but the enemy didn't go for it because they are panicking that they didn't land on the crates first. Anyway, Alien tries to shoot at them. You see, he takes them down easily. Now he moves immediately. He knows that the rooftop is dangerous, so he moves immediately. Now he's just looting around, trying to find the best loot, which is really good. At the beginning of the match, you need to loot, but at the same time, if you know that enemies are going to be around you, you need to start pushing them, because the same time you're using to loot is the same time enemies are going to be using to loot. So when you just pick a gun that is good enough, then just go rush them, because they are not going to be balanced in the match, and that will give you an advantage over them. And also, yeah, a lot of players focus on looting at early stage, which doesn't really help them, and you can easily cook them. Over here you can see immediately he comes to the window. He prefers the window where he sees footsteps. You can see these footsteps on the screen. He prefers here because he's expecting an enemy to run all the way from the back to the front here, but an enemy doesn't run. But look what Alien does. He waits patiently and then he goes in quickly, only when he sees that an enemy started to engage themselves. Let's look at it again. You can see as he saw two footsteps and a shot, he ran into the building immediately to third party, and immediately he spots an enemy. You can see what he did there, absolutely beautiful. As soon as he saw the enemy, I want you to pay attention to what he did. He was holding his melee and he just slid away from the enemy, giving him space, and he would easily be able to land his shots on the enemy. As you can see, he takes the first enemy down and he knows already that two enemies were here and one is already gonna come on him.
What do you mean by that?
Pause. But yeah, one is gonna attack him right away, so he immediately slides away from the door. That is the view of the enemy. You can see you're not seeing the enemy and the enemy cannot also see him, and this is insane quick reflex that a lot of pro players practice. You can see the enemy is not at the door now, which gives Alien a little bit breathing space to switch his weapon. Immediately he starts to shoot, but yeah, the enemy manages to escape and he's just gonna push right away. but I think the smoke stopped him. And he just finishes his kill, which is good. Because the enemy would have stood up and, you know, tried to shoot him. Probably taking him out because his life was a little bit low. But anyway, Alien decides to push again. You can see what he did there. As he came out, he was expecting the enemy to come back because he's seen footsteps here earlier on. So as he pushes towards the stairs, he's expecting the enemy to be there. Immediately, he pre-fires where he's expecting the enemy to be. But unfortunately, the enemy is not there. Alright, immediately you can see that he pushes to see if he can get the enemy. And as Alien came down, I want you to pay attention to something. Immediately he came down. Look at what he did first. This is absolutely beautiful. After pre-firing the stairs, he immediately stands on the top to see if the enemy is going to be standing here. Remember, he saw footsteps earlier on his screen and he's checking to see if the enemy was going to be here by placing his aim there, which was really smart. I really like what he did here. He's playing very carefully. And then he knows that the enemy is on the left. From when he was standing on top of the stairs, he knows that the enemy is going to be down there at the corner. Look what Alien does. He scans the room immediately, looks to the right, looks to the left, and he spots the enemy over here. Now you can see he easily takes this enemy out. Because the enemy is hiding. If you hide, you can't win. You need to be on the move in Blood Strike. Okay, now I want everyone to pay attention to what Alien is going to do next. You can see that he's hearing footsteps towards this direction, so he's obviously wanting to push towards there. Now, as you can see, immediately he pops his parachutes, he sees a shield over here, meaning that an enemy could be inside the building and drop the shield over here to protect himself from enemies over here. But look what he does. He goes behind the shield, still looking at that area to see if any enemy is going to pop out. And when no enemy pops out, look at what Alien does. Immediately he turns to the back. Now, a lot of people are going to make the mistake to push the enemies directly through the middle. And like I said, he's playing solo, so if you get yourself in the middle of two solo players, that is just a death sentence for yourself. Now you can see Alien plays smart and he goes towards the back of the building because he's expecting that enemy to be behind the shield. Immediately comes around the corner, he slides immediately and pre-fire because someone could be waiting for him. Now you can see in his scope, he does indeed see someone over here. You can see someone over there, and then he just gradually keeps pre-aiming. Okay, so he decides to heal before he heads on to the battle, and you can see the enemy has popped up again on his screen. And Alien places his aim there again, but what Alien does is a little bit mistake. He's meant to be sure that the enemy is actually going to completely pop up on his screen, and he doesn't wait for that. He pre-fires, which scares the enemy. I actually thought the enemy was going to run away at this point, but the enemy somehow did not. But yeah, Alien decides to go to the rooftop, and he baited the enemy to thinking that yeah, he's going to run away. But look at the enemy is completely open for Alien to finish. Now this enemy is actually a very, I don't know what to say, but I don't appreciate when enemies play like this. I actually like my enemies having a little bit of sense. How can you leave your back open like this? Like you're not reading the footsteps on your screen, which is really bad. He takes shots on the enemy, and yeah, of course, it's gonna easily take this enemy out without any stress. Simple. Easy kill there for Alien. Now look at what he does next. Someone is landing on him. What does he do immediately? He wants to go to the buy station to buy his loot. You know, he wants to buy his loadout or whatever he wants. He immediately pops a smoke. He drops the smoke at the buy station and then pushes for the person that landed above him. He saw the person taking the zip line over here. You can see the person escaped. The person left this place probably because they saw footsteps on the building below, so they went over here. Now I would say yeah, that is a smart move from this enemy because you just landed. You need to run away. You need to go get loot first before you come to attack an unknown person. Anyway, Alien tries to land some shots, but he doesn't. But yeah, look what he did. Very smart play. Before he used the loadout in a solo match, he smoked the loadout. Very smart play from Alien. Now you can see immediately he goes to push that enemy that, you know, the enemy that he aimed at first. And the enemy is in the building right now, and he easily lands some shots. Beautiful play. Beautiful play from Alien over here. Now as he pushed this enemy into the building, you can see after he lands some shots, I want you guys to pay attention to something. The enemy is still charging towards him. You get me? The enemy is still charging towards Alien. And when Alien sees that this enemy is so close, Alien does not know the gun that is in this enemy's hand. He doesn't. He has no idea of the gun. But look at what he's going to do. As soon as the enemy is straight up in his face, Alien immediately slides away from the enemy and shoots him, easily taking this guy out. And this guy's out of the lobby because this was the same guy he just killed literally 30 seconds ago. Yeah, beautiful play from Alien over there. Now let us go back. Let us go back. So initially, Alien saw footsteps behind him, thinking that the enemy was in the room. Panicked. He panicked and used the shadow strike. Now, pro players also panic. It is normal. His life is low. He just finished a fight and someone just blasted him with an origin. So obviously his heart is still beating very fast. But yeah, the shadow strike has been a waste over here. He comes out to heal and he does know that this enemy is actually not in the building, but he is outside here. Now he sees the enemy sliding towards him. Quick reaction from Alien, immediately runs away. Now you can see Alien has escaped, and as he's moving he pops a smoke, which is really smart. He's covering his way because enemies tend to pre-fire anytime they are chasing, a fellow enemy. They just love to pre-fire. If they go around the corner, they just pre-fire. You can see Alien reloading both his guns, and immediately this guy comes on the rope. Beautiful movement here. Beautiful movement. Simple but beautiful. This is what I want you guys to be learning. You guys need to learn how to keep movement simple, at the same time keep it useful. Now what do I mean by keep it useful? Now this person who came up the zipline is obviously expecting Alien to be on top here because he was chasing Alien. He wants to take out Alien. So what does he do? Alien gives the zipline space while he's reloading, and then immediately I want you guys to pay attention to one tiny thing he did. Now look, he was reloading his guns. Pay attention to this. He was reloading his guns. He had someone using the zipline, immediately switched to his melee and switch back to that same gun because it is an SMG and he wants the SMG to finish the job in close range. He knows that it is the gun that is going to do the job. Now he aims at this person, but as the person lands a lot of shots on him, like I said, simple movement but useful. He slides away from the enemy, places aim back on the enemy, and easily takes the enemy out. Now obviously a third party took Alien out, and yeah, actually he survived this place, but I don't know how he survived. Like, I don't know what that enemy was doing. He didn't even have his shadow strike again. He just literally ran away from them. Now look what Alien is gonna do here. I absolutely loved what he did here. If you pay attention, while he escapes over here, I want to show you guys something. You can see an enemy down here. Yeah, there is an enemy showing down here, meaning that Alien could be in possible danger. Look at his health. Let us see what Alien does. Beautiful play from Alien. He's switching in between the covers very fast while trying to escape. Guys, you need to learn how to play with cover. That was a beautiful play, and when I saw it myself, I was absolutely impressed. He doesn't run far away from the fight, but at least now he knows he's safe, so he decides to heal. I really like what Alien has done so far. He hasn't died in any specific situation, and he has been taking control of this building that he landed right from the start, which is absolutely beautiful work. Now let's see the next person is gonna play. As he goes up the zip line, now he is on the other side of the situation that he was before. Remember, before Alien was here, and this enemy, I think it's the same enemy because he landed here for his loot. But yeah, you can see that Alien is now on the other side of the fight. Is Alien gonna lose because now he's on this side and he's only used to standing on the other side of the fight? Let us see what he's gonna do. As he pops up from the zip line, lands his aim on the enemy. Now you can already see in slow-mo here that Alien is already removing his ADS. As the ADS he's spamming it so his aim can land back on the enemy and take the enemy out easily. Beautiful play from Alien. He's hearing shots over there and he's healing towards the shot. Then he decides to push immediately. This one's simple kill over here. The enemy is not alert. The parachute signs on his screen and the enemy is just playing around, so it's also an easy kill once again for Alien. Alien hearing footsteps behind him, pays attention to the footstep. That was what I was expecting that enemy to do. Pay attention to footsteps, pay attention to parachute signs, pay attention to literally any sound or icon that pops up on your screen. Alien immediately turns his back and spots an enemy sliding towards him. Look what he does. Immediately lands his aim, slides away from where he was. Look, this enemy is still facing the side where Alien was before, and Alien is already on this side. The enemy is still facing there, and Alien takes him out easily. W movement, that is strafing at best will that Alien used over there. So far, I have noticed that Alien has tried his best to be inside the safe zone, which is beautiful on him. Trying to land some shots on the enemy. Oh, this guy isn't so smart. Now the guy he just took out decided to land back for no reason. Okay, for a good reason, I mean to take his loot. But yeah, Alien immediately rushes him. Now that guy missed his opportunity to escape. What he actually wanted to do was use his shadow strike to land on the roof. But he fails to do that because, I don't know, he's probably a terrible player. And Alien chases him down immediately. I don't know why Alien doesn't open himself over here to start taking shots. But as Alien does, you can see that he has taken Alien down easily. Now, what was the mistake that Alien made here? Now, let me show you guys the mistake. Okay, so over here, Alien had the chance to slide out immediately and start landing shots on this enemy while the enemy is trying to run closer to cover. Now, know that this enemy is the one that is running away from the fight, so you need to continuously put pressure on him. If you're chasing an enemy, continuously puts pressure on them. The moment you give them space, they feel like they are safe and it gives them time to adjust. Now, look, Alien gave this guy enough time to adjust and come close to cover, and as soon as that time was given, you can see that the enemy is more confident now in fighting Alien, and with good movements the enemy takes Alien out easily. He doesn't have chance to land back directly on his loot, so let's see where he's going to land. He lands at a buy station because he has 7k. Very confident over here trying to take his loot, and I don't know what that enemy was doing. If that enemy was sleeping, Alien, there is someone behind you, but he manages to escape. W confidence in the chat, guys. W confidence from Alien, I have to say. Now he's waiting patiently. You can see after healing, he has healed up already. He doesn't need to heal up anymore. If he tries to heal up anymore and the enemy is pushing, it's going to take a little bit time for him to switch to his gun and will stand a chance in the fight. So you can see the enemy's footstep on the screen. Alien slides out, doesn't see anyone. Decides to change cover again because his footstep has exposed his location, and also he's trying to loot more guns, loot more stuff for himself. Alien decides to go back into the fight. Lovely. Third party again. In solo mode, you need to understand that you really need to third party people a lot, because you know they really don't have any teammates to watch their back. Everyone is on their own, so take great advantage of third parties. Alright, as you guys can see over here, Alien has been scanned. There is an enemy close to Alien. Now, I don't know why Alien runs away from the scan, but what I usually do is I look at the top of the scan to try to find the center. If you can find the center of a Val scan, that is where the Val is. That is her current position of the time that she spawned the scan. As you can see over here, this is most likely the center because as you can see, this part is falling back down. So the Val is obviously either on this side of the floor or way below, but just know for a fact that she is directly under the middle of the scan. Alien decides to use the shadow strike to push to the top, but then he realizes that the enemy is actually on the ground floor from the footsteps. So yeah, what he does is obviously push the ground floor. Smart parkour move here, going through the window. Now he knows the enemy is above him. Quick movement from him immediately puts pressure on the enemy without wasting time. I actually thought he was gonna die. Oh, he actually died here. Yeah, that was bad movement from him. Now let me explain why his movement was actually bad there. Okay, let's look at the mistake Alien made here. As you can see, Alien pre-fires. Lovely pre-fire here. You can see his aim is directly on the enemy's body, but what does he do next that actually pissed me off? You can see he would have won this fight if he had just waited here expecting the enemy to come back, and then he probably just tries to strafe, but Alien is hungry for the kill and he rushes in. Now you can see the way he slid, he is trying to face this corridor over here, but this enemy is smart by jumping all the way from there to this other side, breaking Alien's aim. Now Alien manages to land his shots back on the enemy, but once again Alien is sliding again. Like, this guy is literally in front of you. There is no point to slide again. Just try to land as much shots as you can, because now this slide has left Alien's back completely exposed, and this guy breaks his shield from just that little time that Alien gave him. And you can see the enemy shield. The enemy shield is still there. Alien has already lost all his shield, and obviously you would know here that Alien is gonna die. But yeah, that is the mistake he made. Now guys, when you are facing enemies, please try to slide in a way that you are sliding away from them instead of backing them, because the moment you start backing your enemy, that's the moment you start to prepare for your own death. Alien decides to land on the airdrop over here. Smart play. This is exactly what I would do. Land on the airdrop and then probably try my best to take any enemy that is around, but I will play very smart. I'll play it very, very smart. The safe zone has been redefined. It's rushing immediately towards the shots of the enemies. So far, if you guys have noticed, Alien had been using an MP5 for the whole of this game, but he finally decides to use the QBZ. Maybe he's starting to see that this match is a little bit more tough, so he's trying to, you know, be open to more options that are stronger on his loadouts. Now as he moves into this building, you can see an enemy in front of him over there. And he tries to land some shots, but his aim is actually very shaky. Now he knows that this enemy is going to run towards this direction. And look what Alien is going to do next. Beautiful play from Alien. He slides away from the enemy. The enemy is charging towards him. The enemy was not ready to expect Alien there. That is the only reason why the enemy jumped in rush. Now this is a mistake that a lot of players make. Even I myself, I jump in rush anytime I see someone, just pop in my screen. It is very hard to predict when, if someone is in a building or not. So yeah, the enemy was obviously not expecting Alien and he charged towards Alien. And you can see Alien completely breaks his aim and lands a lot of shots on his back, which breaks the enemy's shield. And I think this is the enemy Alien was facing earlier. So yeah, the enemy actually made the same mistake, but the enemy didn't slide. The enemy just turned his back. Or maybe Alien's movement was just better. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. And Alien was able to break his shield. Now over here you can see Alien lands some shots easily. There's a third party, but it's just with a pistol. Alien just does little movements and he takes the enemy out easily. Now guys, you need to understand something. When a match is becoming too hard, you don't just rely on the loadouts that you've been using from the start. Try to switch up certain things. As you can see over there, the akimbo pistols actually helped Alien to survive the fight. Now, as you can see here, Alien got shot at, but immediately checks out the area. He doesn't see anyone, but the person still lands some shots on him. Smart of him to run away from the fight to third party these people that are landing over here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 3 people, not exactly on Alien, but against themselves. And this is the best thing to do in a solo match. Alien intentionally holds his position and just start taking each of them out one by one, landing his shots on them. I mean, this gun isn't the best recoil. It doesn't have the best recoil, but somehow Alien still manages to land his shots on them. I would say, Alien, please do something about this loadout. It is not actually the best for you. Now he's moving a lot because he knows anyone can pop up on him at any time, and this is the end game. You can't be making silly mistakes in the end game. In the end game, end zone fights, you need to be constantly moving. And yes, I'll make a separate video on end game fights, so you guys will know how to control the end game zone and how to position and how to fight enemies in the end game. Anyway, over here, Alien does one of the things I would mention in that video, and he takes a high position. This is something you need to really do when it comes to end games. You need to take a high position. You need to learn how to take high grounds to dominate fights in the end game. It is really important. I cannot emphasize more on this as that will be on a different video, but as you can see here, Alien has spotted his enemy out in the open. The enemy just took down someone, but that is none of Alien's business as Alien has a free kill on this guy now. As you can see, easy kill because the enemy was fighting before, and instead of him to focus on healing, he decided to finish the kill that he had. Beautiful job from Alien so far. Good positioning, good awareness, aware of where all the enemies are, taking his time properly. Really proud of what he's doing so far. Now he glides towards where he has shots, but he's playing still on the high ground. He's holding the position of the high ground and he takes that guy out. Now one thing about the high ground is that it's gonna give you guaranteed headshots at least 1 or 2 times on the enemy. As you can see here, he has decided to request a UAV so he can know where the remaining of the enemies are. It's just 3 people left with him, making everyone 4. Now someone just took the zipline upwards and Alien has heard it, and he's pushing into this building to take that enemy out. Now let us see what he's gonna do here. As you can see, the enemy's footsteps are showing outside. Alien pre-aims towards to where the enemy is gonna come from, and the enemy pops out. Immediately the enemy pops out, Alien starts to shoot, but you can see the gauntlet is equipped on the enemy's hand. So is Alien gonna win this fight, or is the enemy gonna win? Let us see what Alien is gonna do. Now you can see what Alien did. He slid away from the window, giving the enemy enough space so he can be able to shoot. Now if Alien was actually standing there, the enemy would have killed Alien as fast as possible. Alien wouldn't have had the chance to even think for himself, and he would have been wiped out. But yeah, luckily for him, he was able to slide away and start shooting at the enemy. Also luckily for him, the enemy has a shitty aim with a gauntlet. So yeah, Alien survived the fight. So one thing you guys should learn is always try to give enemies space, especially when they come in as a big threat. This is the final game, just 2 people left. I'm trying to wonder what Alien is doing. I think he's hearing gunshots or footsteps towards there. And he throws a nade to see if he can get it through where the zipline is, but nothing, no hit marker. He's just moving around gradually. He's playing smart, just taking his time, not rushing too much. Now let's take it back. Look at what Alien did. As he came out of the building, he turned to this place because an enemy could be hiding there. He turned immediately to check, which is really, really smart. And I like what he did there. Okay, now he's pushing and he has a very strong feeling that an enemy is in the building, and an enemy is actually in the building camping in there, and the enemy is this type of player that is super passive. Now this is just a super camping gameplay, because how can you tell me that this is the end game and 2 people are alive and you're not aware at all? Look where the enemy is looking, literally outside the zone. There is nothing there, there is no crates there, and Alien is able to easily land some shots on the enemy. Now, I like what Alien did here. As he landed some shots, instead of running straight and allowing the enemy to take some shots on him, he immediately starts to charge his shadow strike and he uses it to chase down the enemy. Now the enemy is totally confused and Alien is already at the side of the enemy. The enemy expecting Alien to, run straight all the way from there is now facing there, and this is a beautiful play from Alien. Now guys, you guys need to be thinking wide. You guys need to be thinking big. You see, he didn't just run straight. A lot of you guys will literally run straight, or you guys will camp there waiting for him to try to rush out of the zone as the zone is trying to push him. But instead, Alien brought the game to the enemy, but in a very, very smart way. And easily Alien takes the enemy out. No issue there. Now someone is above Alien, most likely in the little room there, but the enemy has come down to push Alien, and Alien breaks his camera. Look at what Alien did. Beautiful gameplay from Alien. As he holds the position in this room, he knows that the enemy is coming, so he holds his position very, very well. And the enemy also knows that Alien is 100% in this room because the enemy is gonna push. Now look what Alien does. He slides out immediately and the enemy is facing that way. And as the enemy is backing Alien, starts to take his shots immediately on the enemy. Beautiful gameplay from Alien. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And there's a lot of movements because this is the end game. Oh, that was so lucky. That was so lucky, and Alien wins. Alien wins the game easily, guys. Super easily, because he decided to play smart. He decided to hold certain key positions in the game, and that was how he clutched the game. Beautiful gameplay from Alien. Shout out Alien once again. Now, if you guys have any suggestion of any pro player that you want me to spectate and break down their gameplay, please do well to type their name in the comments and let me know who you want next on the list. And that is it for today's video. If there is anything I want you to take from this episode, it is that pros do not just play fast, they play very, very smart and fast at the same time. But I want you guys to focus on the smart side more, because you guys are still learning. Now, everything you saw today, as you saw it, Alien had a reason behind every single thing that he did. So I want you guys to try to apply at least one thing you learned in your next matches and see the difference in yourself, and of course come back here and give me the feedback. Now, even one small change can completely change how your games go. If this episode helped you, once again, drop a like so I know this series is worth continuing. Comment down below what you learned from this breakdown or what surprised you the most, and of course, which pro player do you want me to feature next. For the next video, I am actually gonna continue with Alien, but for his squads gameplay. That is how we're gonna be doing it. We're gonna show their solo gameplay and their squads gameplay, and then we move on to the next pro player. But for pro players that play more of squad fights, we are gonna feature them in a squad fights gameplay, and I will break down what is behind their thoughts process. This is how to become a pro, and I will see you in the next video on Friday. It's your boy Nox, your favorite Bloodstrike coach, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.